Hello everyone. I am about to take you on a tour of this extra room that we have in the rental home that we are living in. And there are several reasons that I'd like to do so. And you'll see that it will be very apparent in a moment why I want to share this with you. One is about using your imagination to create a space that reflects your personality. Two is using upcycled and recycled furniture. Three is organization. And four is letting you know you don't have to do this with a very big budget. So here we go. I'm going to do just a quick peek at the entire room, and then we're going to go around and I will talk about why this space ended up looking the way that it does. So we received every single piece of furniture in this room for free, whether it was gifted to us from lovely friends or we picked it up on FreeCycle. For those of you that don't know what FreeCycle is, it's freecycle.org, and it's all across the whole country, and you can pick towns in the area that you live in and join. And you have to create an account, but what it does is allows you to give and receive items no longer wanted that are being paid forward. And it's really an incredible program, and it's on a first come first serve basis, which is great. So you can alter the settings on your emails so that you can actually get individual emails every time something is offered, or you can send out if you would like to receive something, and that's where the first come first serve basis comes in. So you can also clump it together so that you only receive the emails a couple times a day, but you have less of a chance of being able to get that item first. So at any rate, we'll start here. And this great little shopping cart I cleaned up, my mother just recently found on the side of the road for my son Lachlan. So it cleaned up very nicely, and it goes perfectly with his kitchen. And when I was pregnant with Lachlan, this was offered on FreeCycle, and my husband and I went and picked it up, and we've since added just a few items to it. But most of these things actually came with the kitchen. Got all of his food in his refrigerator. So this has been an incredible addition to our home. He plays with this constantly throughout the day, which is really wonderful to see. So then we're moving on to this dresser. Now this dresser was white with some other painted flowers on it. And it was very pretty when I got it. Another item off of FreeCycle. But I decided that I wanted to give it a whole new look. So it was probably about $20 in chalk paint and water-based polyurethane and the stencil, I did this whole piece, and it is now storage for our handmade soaps that we make. We wanted to be able to create a nice, cool, protective environment for our soaps. So that's where this comes into play, and it's really nice. Bonus every time we open the drawers that we get this glorious smell coming out of there. So this piece has been a really great asset to our home. And then moving on here, we received these chairs from FreeCycle, and they just needed a little bit of cleaning up, and the puppies like to come in and snooze on them, but I love to come in and sit and read in here as well. And we have this bench right here from a dear, dear friend who recently passed. So it's actually a really nice reminder every time I see this piece that I know that she is still here with us in our minds and our hearts. And we've got some books. Again, there was some clients that my mother worked for that were cleaning out their library, and she paid forward at least one of these books was from there. And we've got some yarn. There's a project that I will be working on, but I received this yarn from a friend whose mother passed, and this was her mother's yarn. And I am honored to have it and be able to make something beautiful out of it in the future. And the basket, everything has a story. The basket is from my dear cousin's partner's grandmother. We had an incredible picnic one day at their farm this year, and she gifted me this basket, and it's gorgeous, and again tells a story of the history of what is our home, and I'm very lucky to have it. So this is one of the few purchases that I've made. These little lights, they're solar powered, and this little tapestry I actually got at Aldi in the Isle of Shame. And for those of you that don't know what the Isle of Shame is, there is a whole Aldi nerd community on social media, and they have dubbed it the Isle of Shame, where all of the bargain deals are, and you often can't go grocery shopping in Aldi without leaving with an item or two or three from the Isle of Shame. So this is very, very inexpensive. I want to say this was about $12 to get this, and then the lights were at Home Goods for probably about the same. So then we have here this adorable table from a dear, dear friend of mine, and there are several pieces in here that I am not redoing. I am known for, or yet, I'm going to preface yet, I am known for refurbishing most of the furniture that comes into our home, and I suspect this is why a lot of times people reach out to me, because they will know that I will take a wayward piece in and care for it and flip it and do all the things to the piece of furniture. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'd like to think that's a good thing. At any rate, this wonderful sewing table, this actually folds up and you can put a sewing machine in this table. But there are several reasons I'm not doing any refurbishing of this other furniture in the room yet. And it's because we are going to our forever home, hopefully within the next 6 months or so. And even though this table and another piece of furniture in this room are in this room now, it's not where they might end up in our future house. So I'm not sure what I want to do with them yet as far as color scheme or aesthetic. So they are as they are currently. So we have a little tea set here that again was gifted to me. And we've got some little jade clippings that we're going to make into a whole new plant. And this wonderful Marine City, Michigan coaster that my dear cousin gifted to me several years ago. And then moving down here, we have these books. And they're about half and half now. I've blended some of Lachlan's books that he already had into the fold. But these books were just recently gifted to us from the same person that we have the wonderful yarn from. So we just put them in some bins down here, and there are books in almost every room for Lachlan in this house. So this is just another part of it. And then moving on here, this is another thing that I purchased. I had to spend some money on, but very minimal. So it's a gallery wall, and it looks, to me anyway, someone may not agree, but to me it looks like a more expensive wall than it actually is. These frames were actually purchased at the dollar store. They were $1 each. They're all the same kind. They have the same pattern, which is the look I wanted to create, and I wanted to do sort of a mirror reflection. So every single one of these frames was $1. And then the photos I actually printed and ordered right online from CVS and went and picked them up. And a lot of times CVS, you'll find CVS, Walgreens, even Shutterfly, they'll have really good deals and sales on photos. So you can print out many, many, many photos for very little money. So I just created this gallery wall, and what I used on the back, because the frames are so lightweight, they just required one of the 3M Velcro strips, and you just place the sticky tab on one side, Velcro the piece together, and take the sticky tab off and place it where you want on the wall. And I found this is actually a lot easier, A, than putting holes in your walls, but B, at placement. It's not so scary to try to line it up and then hang it on a nail afterwards. It's a lot easier to be able to put your pictures where you want them to be. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. And then we have this amazing jelly cabinet, spice cabinet, whatever you would like to call it, is where my canned goods go. You saw the tutorial on the grape butter, so I've been doing some canning. And we've also got some spiced apple butter here. We have some plum fruit spread, and we also have some spiced plum over here. We also canned some chicken and beef earlier this year. I can't wait to try that this winter. And then some other nuts and things that are in the jars. This has been this is another piece that we received from a friend of ours. And eventually I'd like to refurbish it, but for now it has its happy little home right here in this room. And then what was important for us in creating this space was to have a pantry. The kitchen that we have in this rental home, it's a wonderful open kitchen, but we have a lot of kitchen tools, and the cabinets take up the space in the cabinets. So we were finding we were putting our food in 3 different cabinets in the kitchen and these low cupboards, and it was very, very hard to see what we had. And we are fortunate enough, we have a very dear friend of ours and his wife, and they come and bring us these incredible donation boxes. For those of you that don't know, my husband is a Marine. I don't like to say former Marine, but for lack of better description, he is not an active Marine, I guess you could say right now. And there are incredible programs in this area for our veterans to be able to give donated food. And our friend drops by a donation box for us every so often, and we definitely use that food. So for me, organization is key. And we'll start over here. We have great little S hooks for my watering cans. Now my watering cans can't be any lower because my baby likes to take them and eat them. He chews on them. And I would like to have them for a while longer. So this watering can was my great-grandmother's. And we have many, many plants, house plants. So these come in very, very handy. So what I did visually for me, this is what works. We have our pastas up here. And we have some dried fruits and nuts here that are great for cookie making. We've got our rices over here, and we have our canned tomatoes over here. Now this little guy, he doesn't normally belong here, these potato chips. We do have a drawer in the kitchen that has our snacky food, but our drawer got a little exorbitant this shopping trip around, so he didn't fit. Which I don't know what that's saying. Like, either we need to hurry up and eat the stuff, or we're buying too much of the snacky stuff. At any rate, that's where he lives right now. And then we have down here our canned vegetables, and they are all in order so that I know exactly what we have. And then we move on to the fruits, and then we have our soups and chicken and beef stocks and broths back here, because it is soup making season. And down here we have our peanut butter and our tuna fish. And then I actually recently just found these jars in the basement. There are a lot of things that the homeowners left downstairs that I know they won't be using again. And they did say that we could feel free to use different things down there. So I washed them up and they are now part of the pantry. And we have these jars back here. Lachlan he can reach here and he likes to open these. And I'm surprised that I'm not finding a toy in here, but he likes to put his toys in here on occasion. But that's where his little pouches of yummy fruits and veggies are. And we've got some oatmeal. And then we have down over here, just some glass products that don't need to be in the refrigerator yet. And then we have some instant foods, bagged soups, and some Indian food. Down here we have some spare toilet paper. This box is more canning jars. And then that's basically how I organize my pantry. Then over here we have Lachlan's care station. So he's still trying to get the hang of this. He still prefers to go in the bathroom to brush his teeth. And unfortunately, this doesn't fit in the bathroom space in this home. So it has been relegated to this room, but he still loves to play at it. He loves to turn on his light, his little push button light up here. And eventually in our forever home, this will hopefully go into the bathroom so that he has his own space to brush his hair and brush his teeth. And that is a tour of the room. So the things that we paid for in here, it was probably a little bit over $100, given the paint and everything, the tapestry, the lights. But really, everything else, even included this rug, it was the finishing touch. I picked it up just 2 days ago from someone on FreeCycle. So for us, for a rental, it was very, very, very important for us to have this space still be our home, even if we can't paint the walls and there's certain restrictions that we have in living here. I didn't want to make the restrictions seem like we didn't live here. I hope that makes sense. And this room has several different purposes to it, but I still wanted to make sure that it was a comfortable space that when you walked into, you said, ah, this is where the Lazinskis live. So I hope you enjoyed the space, and I hope you gleaned some knowledge from it. And as always, blessed be and have an incredible day.